Hello everyone, welcome back to another class. So I'll be continuing the series with essay, topic number 2. It's been a long time since I've uploaded any video because I was sick, and because of that look time like upload kula. But now I'll be continuing the series. So I hope you all are studying well. So let us start the second topic of essay. So essay topic to asti guru, and also I'll be uploading the maths portion for NPSC. So let us start. So আজিলৈ টপিকটো কি আছে তো one nation one election. So essay I will let us study the question first. One nation one election could offer benefits in terms of efficiency and reduce campaign expenses, but achieving political consensus of this reform remains challenging. Examine. So basically কি কৈছে তো one nation one election তো explain কৰিব আছে. So one nation one election তো কি আছে basically one nation one election to case like Lok Sabha election aro state assembly. We know that Lok Sabha election this year 2024 de hole ase holibi last year 2023 de mona Nagaland na election do conduct korle. So one nation one election do concept ase ki Lok Sabha aro mona state assembly la election do 21 साल de kurule synchronize kurule. So this is the concept of one nation one election. Means basically state election or itu general elections to equilote synchronize kurule. So let us start with the introduction. One nation one election is among the critical reforms of the current central government agenda. In fact, the former President of India Ramnath Kovind in his address to Parliament in January 2018 mentioned this as one of the reforms proposed by the government. He said that citizens are concerned with frequent elections in one part of the country or another, which adversely impact the economy and development. The Prime Minister PM Modi has also spoken emphatically about the desirability of having one election across the country. So this idea is not a bolt from the blue. So introduction to one nation one election do uila by charcha chole ase. That is, it is not a new concept. Ramnath Kovind 2018 देखि कोशी कि one मला India तो one एकटा election करले बालू because एकटा election conduct करले पैसा किमान जाए. For example 2019 latest Lok Sabha election दे rupees किमान जाए 60,000 crore जाए 60,000 crore of taxpayer money for election conduction of election conduct करले की लगे. That is EVM kan VVPAT kan aro to manu deploy korle observer potawole election polling officer potawole presiding officer select korle tangi training dole. So it is a very tedious process. So because of this Ramnath Kovind, the former president of India, taiba kushi ki mon economic development do kole to ekta election to means sub election to ek parte khatam korle lage. So and also Prime Minister Modi has also said about this. So it is a concept to say it is not a old concept. It is not a new concept. It is very old concept. So I hope you got this. Let us go to the main concept. So one nation one election though their main concept basically is synchronize the timing of Lok Sabha and state assembly election across all states to reduce the frequency of polls throughout the country. So Mona Nagaland Legislative Assembly last year 2023 and this year 2024 Lok Sabha election. So without the align so one nation one election to 2024 sub state, that is Kerala Olive, Madhya Pradesh Olive, Nagaland Olive, sub Manipur Olive, sub election ekta salte khatam korle. So this concept is called the one nation one election. We may not know, but since means until 1967 India independence pavijin 1967 tak to itu ekta election ni chuli rakhe for both the center and the state till 1967. Only 1967 bijde especially in the 1960s India la federalism the ekta drastic change hoise. That is puila do center पहिला तो कांग्रेस देख्छ the INC Indian National Congress to central the government देख्छ so in the same way states there like Maharashtra Gujarat or Tamil Nadu सब the congress देख्छ but since 1960s there era paradigm shift हो जाइछ paradigm shift माने के जुगले त ASC regional party kan ola शुरू हो for example Tamil Nadu the Dravidam Mukha Kazhagam DMK all India Dravidam Kazhagam aro Kerala te ki jugle to communist party aise aro alag alag BSP Bahujan Samaj Party BSP many regional parties began to come out of the states so 1967 tak to one nation one election concept to chuli rekche idu disturb ho jaise since 1967 aro first to 1959 shuru hoje kitia Indian government ba invoke question article 356 to dismiss the then Kerala government because of political turmoil means idu minister MLA la mojode government form kurun para na para la chakade central government ba article 356 to president's rule or state emergency ba idu government do remove kodeja 1959 there and after that aste counter defection or defection means political party kumba MLA government punjanai means majority punjanai so they will defect to another like that jamela hobijite aste state kan tangna date to aste extend na ita to alag lag hoje so now itia 2024 te kali election do kali state te kundu hojile da Arunachal Pradesh Sikkim Andhra Pradesh or Odisha idu charta state te state election aro Lok Sabha election te ikilo de jai baki to alag to sob alag ho jaye for example 2023 de Mizoram bhi dekhche and idu Chhattisgarh bhi dekhche Madhya Pradesh bhi ase Rajasthan bhi ase aro Nagaland bhi hoje enka so idu date to year to nimile aro one nation one election do idu advocate koise PP Jivan Reddy ba Supreme Court former Supreme Court judge ba koise tai kita law commission head korekse in 1999 tai babe koise ki it is feasible so I hope you got the idea for this now let us go to the advantages of one nation one election by ki advantage first the focused governance ke jukle do ekta policy te focus korbo for example 2023 for example moine koise 2019 de Prime Minister Modi by ki scheme launch korja for example the smart city mission or ita latest scheme the PM Vishwakarma scheme for local artisans we have already studied about this so the 2023 the Vishwakarma scheme to launch so for example this year 2024 the election kilijaro for example the Prime Minister Modi lost the election so a new government comes for example in a coalition government is so the coalition government by the Vishwakarma scheme do tan khushi pane so they will remove the scheme means takan scheme the end pi kurbo so it shows that PM Modi by ekta scheme shuru kordo tai notun government alag notun government aile do idu scheme the scrap kori de for example scrap kori diche so idu governance to continue gorna pare so disruption ho jay so it enables the government to concentrate on governance once the elections are over today there are some elections in one part of the or the other in some part of the country at least every 3 months the entire attention of the country becomes focused on this election from Prime Minister to Union Minister everyone gets involved with this election as nobody wants to lose so because of elections for example recently Chhattisgarh Madhya Pradesh aro Rajasthan election the Prime Minister Modi Amit Shah aro Union Minister sab chena campaign korche for their state and because of this the BJP government was formed in Chhattisgarh hoje Rajasthan hoje aro Madhya Pradesh hoje so because of this the Prime Minister and all the minister gets involved so takan ido time phelai ido campaigning kam de aro country la governance de focus kurna pare so one nation one election ekta sal to for example 2024 de one nation one election hole do baki 5 years to they can focus on the governance of the country So this is one of the advantage of one nation one election. Next, continuity in policy decisions. For example, this year 2024 2023 Vishwakarma scheme launch korche Prime Minister. So Prime Minister Vishwakarma scheme VKS. So for example, itu next this year election coalition government itu hatai dije. So itu policy to end hoje. So there is no continuation of policies. And we know that model code of conduct के जुगले तो for example election दो 2024 May दे होले जाए. So May दे जुगले तो model code of conduct तो forced है जाए before May, that is March April फले. Model code of conduct के जुगले तो इधर Election Commission of India बा through the Representation of People's Act 1950 or 51 by invoke करे तो के जुगले तो model code of conduct तो शुरू हो जुगले तो nothing, no new policy, equal appointment, नोटन appointment equal करना पड़ो. Means एक टाइम नोटन policy equal शुरू करना पड़ो. If the model code of conduct is invoked, for example this year May the election शुरू हो जुगले तो that is model code of conduct तो for example April दे आइशे April दा. So April वो तो date तो for example April 1 दे शुरू हो जाए. itu April 1 bijide iku policy invoke korno por means notun policy iku shuru korno por kina jinga jabo or appointment be iku korno por. You cannot appoint new person, means recruitment kam bi korno por. So this is the model code of conduct. So ito because of model code of conduct one infrastructure kiki kan development kan iku korno por. So this disruption causes the delay in key policy decisions in center and states also. So center de live, state de live ido policy do so rokhai de. Next, reduce cost of election. So we know that 2019 Lok Sabha election de kali ekta general election held koro bole to 60,000 crore loise. So just imagine state sub de every year election loise bole to it is consuming more than 100,000 crores for all the elections. So an enormous amount of money is to be raised every election. So election the paisa pishi pelai because paisa kut pelai bole to electronic voting machine EVM VVPAT kan annuole order role security personnel kan annuole training diole aro like ido election arrangement korole. So lots of money is utilized in this process. So because of this ekta election de sob to pak kono khatam kordile to it will lead to less cost. Next, reduce deployment of security forces. So kita election shuru hoye alag state kamba forces deploy kore. For example to the last year you must have noticed that in 2023 election CRPF kan or the ki koy Indian Army kan aro ki koy BSF kan aise BSF ase aro SSB idu sob armed forces to aise aro alag state babe aise, that is Bihar babe aise ki koy Uttar Pradesh babe aise Rajasthan babe aise the army the police personnel to assist in our election. So like that, for example this year Chhattisgarh de election hojigle to Chhattisgarh de election ajibole to Nagaland babe 9 IR 11 IR 13 IR la padelan kuma jai. So ido intermixing garne security forces to deploy jai. So because of security forces deploy garne law and order problem bi olai jai. So a large number of police personnel and paramilitary forces are engaged to ensure that elections are conducted peacefully. This ensures massive redeployment, means ekta state pa alag jawole alag BSF kan Indian Army kan bi aibo. So it involves huge costs, ido khalwa transportation costs of olai jai. So it diverts key law enforcement personnel from the critical function. So law ekta state pa olai jai to law and order problem hoile to they cannot, it will create much problem. So because of this ekta election held korjile to it will be helpful for the police personnel also. Or end of horse trading to ke jukle to MLA kinina bigir korla. For example Nagaland de 60 MLAs means 60 seats udare we need a majority of how much 30. तो 30 majority लगे for example एकता political party 29 हजार और दीदा political party 29 हजार so in one way एकता political party बा MLA किन्ने बोले try करो so this is also known as horse trading so because election बिशी जगह दे थके जा because of this horse trading will occur. Next, reduce freebies and improve state finances. Freebies माने क्या है बोले every election campaign तो मानो कोई की free बिजली, free मुफ्त बिजली, free water supply इनका promise करे. That is आम आदमी पार्टी वाले भी, कांग्रेस गवर्नमेंट वाले भी, the भारतीय जनता पार्टी वाले भी, की वाले भी तान सब voters कहेंगे ताने बोले तान पैसा means free वा दी बोले तान promise करे. So because of this ये तो माना economic impact कोई भी so एक ता election खत्म कर सकले तो एक बार भाई वो तो freebies तो कम freebies तो reduce करो. So next is challenges. So it do one nation one election though it might sound very lucrative but it has its own problem. First क्या सकले तो feasibility means is it applicable means command itu kuro barwa because one constitution is actually article 83 2 or article 172 of the Indian constitution ma koi ki unless kiba problem no shigule to ek the government the 5 years kane serve kurla that is 5 years kane serve kurla unless this of earlier because of problem or article 356 ba president no bana inga koshigule to iku nai but question to case what will happen if the central government and state government collapses mid-tenure? Will elections be held again in every state or will the president's rule be imposed? So, for example, 2024 there one nation one election course sub election. So 2024 to 5 years to 2024 25 26 27 29 2029 tak jabol lagi to sub government to. So for example, one sub state to ikilo the election hoje. So for example, 2026 de ekta dangor jamela ekta hola ekta problem hola she it is the central government de government to collapse hoje because MLA kan MP kan hola na ta support harai or no confidence motion ina government de giri je. So enga hoje to kina ho do the remaining tenure gane or for example eco state will be 31 states and union territories that is 28 states there for example Bihar they will government act giri so what will happen to the remaining of the tenure means tenure bajina do ki president's rule under the rakhuna tai nutun government form go inga so many questions are raising because of this one nation one election. Next to logistical challenges means एक part 28 states the election conduct करले तो police personnel means law and order problem एक जगह तो लेकिन ना deal करो because means अलग अलग जगह ते मनो armed forces तो जाओ तो so it will create logistical challenges और main तो electronic voting machine तो बिची कम दिया जा India दे so it one पैसा kan voting machine kan aro police personnel kan to nubung jo so this will create logistical challenges. Next, against the idea of federalism moala Indian constitution law it is federalistic in nature that means center state relation there maintain kore that is central government be as a state government la voice pick as so since center by so election to conduct kore so what will happen to the states what is their voices tana voice to kute as so it is against the idea of federalism means Nagaland libe Meghalaya libe Bihar libe they have their own opinions on what policy they need to implement so it was central directive they berai shukle to it is not federalism it is dictatorship in a form of dictatorship so it is against the idea of federalism that state kanla kota noni na central la khushi korala. Next, legal challenges ठीक है बोले तो constitution there article 82 83 আৰু 172 টো দিন আছে সো ইটোকে কন্ট্ৰাডিক্ট কৰে আছে আৰু ইটো সব one nation one election implement কৰলে ইটো সব amend কৰলে that is constitution be amend কৰলে constitution be amend কৰলে article 83 to 172 to it is the representation of people's act be amend কৰলে itu model code of conduct la and rules of procedure for Lok Sabha or state assembly sub state la change kurla and idu law commission PS Chauhan ba he reported that it is not feasible in the current scenario aro since idu federalism the impact kore so we need the special majority also means idu amendment kuro karne to special majority, that is 2/3 of the majority, as well as ratification by half of the states to lage for implementing this one nation one election. Next, the overshadowing regional interest. So regional interest means sub state la act the interest there. For example, Nagaland the Naga political solution, Manipur ethnic violence. So sub state la problem unique problem act there. So it is sub ke overlap करना खाली center ला directives तो follow कर दिखले तो it will overshadow the regional interest and this is not a good thing for democracy. Democracy the सब मनला आवाज तो होने वाला है. That is the present form of recurrent elections can be seen as beneficial in a democracy as it allows voters to have their own voices heard more frequently. That is regional elections, that is state election की करने help करे. So because एक government मन किन लगे so we elect a new form of government so that they will work for the welfare of the people. So it is a very important ingredient for democracy. So one nation one election ba ke kuro itu sab nullify kuro means itu naga manala khoda do nonu the center what they want what they aspire to reach it will not be implemented. So our ekta study 2015 de ITFC institute ba kushi ki center te ki government form hoy itu state be hoy 77% chances that is for example BJP to Lok Sabha de jitise that is sure ki 77% guarantee ase ki state election de be tan jitibo it is by the ITFC institute. Next to not so cost effective we have earlier studied that it means advantages tiki as to reduce cost of election but study ba kushi ki Niti Aayog or election commission ma kushi ki one nation India present system the election do per manu do ₹10 per voter ido India present system that means election every year thakado idula isap de per manu do ₹10 koi spend kore for one voter the government but one nation one election gule kali 5 taka there is not so much difference between the concept of one nation one election and holding that is conducting elections every year so iku difference be nai and election expenses aren't always bad so there is economic research to suggest that such election spending by parties and candidates actually benefit the economy so it one election spending do the economy to be impact pre. So what is the way forward so mana ki koi opinion ki building a consensus means instead of center but directive diana stakeholders state government the non NGOs or those who are directly or indirectly involved with this then sab consult korla that is building consensus among all political parties and states is need of dialogue for is on the need and feasibility of simultaneous election are the key kina achieve to dialogue means discussion consultation consult korla sub state lude and deliberation among various stakeholders for example political parties all the chief ministers all the governors like that. Next to amending the constitution so one nation one election to conduct really the constitution to amend kurlo without amending the constitution we cannot go forward with this. Next to investing in infrastructure and technology one nation one election though to if you want to implement then infrastructure they focus kurlo that is electronic voting machine EVM VVPAT kan to bishi manufacture kurla because nabung julu to there's no use of conducting the election. Next, aligning the electoral cycles. So GD, for example, Nagaland 2023 election shuja na or Lok Sabha election 2024 that means exala difference is that means one nation one election to guru kule do exal extension kurla do align kurle aru kumba do 2025 the election lule so tange back kurle da ekta sal minus kurlo so idu ki koy extending or declining the idu one time constitutional amendment kurina bi kurobaro and establishing a legal framework to deal with situations such as non-confidence motion means election kan government girijan ni result do idu ekta framework maintain kurla aro last is creating awareness among the voters means voter kanode aware kurudale it would be very beneficial for conducting the one nation one election. So with this the video has come to an end. I hope you all understood something, and if you have any doubts you can ask me in the comments below. So thank you guys for watching and all the best for your exam. Thank you.